Guys, I want to start off by saying, I'm no diesel expert. This is something that I just own this truck, and I was learning as I went. And I think a lot of these places that I took my truck to could tell that maybe I didn't know everything, and I just felt like they were trying to take advantage of me. And uh, you know, I may be green, but I'm not that green. So I'm just making this video to help you guys out, maybe to keep you from being taken advantage of. It might be something as simple as this. So anyway, I hope this can help you, and if it does, please leave me a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Hey, what's going on, guys? Spencer Landscaper here, and I wanted to do a quick video on 6.0 Power Stroke. If you think that you have a head gasket problem, you may not actually have a head gasket problem. I went through this. I had a 2004 bulletproof F250, and what happened to me was I bought the truck. It was used. I actually got it pretty cheap for what it was, and on initial inspection, I never noticed anything. I brought the truck home. A few days went by, and I noticed coolant leaking out the degas bottle, and immediately everybody jumps to the conclusion that that is the head gaskets. And I took it to a dealership. I took it to several places, and each place gave me a different opinion. It's like the dealership, of course, said it was either a head gasket or a cracked piston. A Ford only diesel shop told me that it was the head gaskets, and then I took it somewhere else, and they said it was something completely different, and that didn't make sense. But 3 reputable places, and they all gave me something different. I didn't experience any overheating at all. I monitored all that, and I got to thinking, why would it be coming out of there? And then I got to looking. I thought maybe it was the degas bottle. It was cracked, so I replaced that. And I heard that the level could be different. They updated the amount that was actually supposed to be in there versus the old degas bottles. So I put the new recommended level in there, and I tried that. That still didn't help, even with the new tank. My old tank was cracked. So anyway, what I did, that solved my issue. It may not solve yours. If you've had your truck for a long time and never had this go down, this may not help you. But if you just bought a truck and you're experiencing that, the same thing that happened to me, this might help. Okay, so what I did was I had to do a coolant flush, and on this coolant flush, I called Ford, and Ford was telling me like 7 gallons. And I looked on forums, and I got several different answers. And I tried putting 7 gallons in there, and I just couldn't get it. And I flushed the system completely. But I couldn't get 7 gallons worth of coolant in there. It just wouldn't do it. It was way too full. So what I ended up doing, I ended up putting, I think it was like 3.5 gallons of coolant in there, and I let it idle, and I checked everything. I monitored the temperatures, and it was either 3.5 or 4, but it wasn't 7. It was 3.5 or 4. I put that in there. I monitored everything. I drove it around the block. I come back, nothing out of the ordinary. It ran fine. It never overheated. I took it on the interstate. I went 80 miles an hour. Temps never went over 190. And I drove it around for, I guess, I don't have the truck now. I sold it. But I drove it around probably for 2 months afterwards. And I never had anything leak out the degas bottle again. I never had the truck overheat. I never had an issue with that. And all it was there was way too much coolant in the cooling system. And when it would leak, it wouldn't leak. I mean, it wasn't like gushing out of there. That's not what it was doing. It was like you would see a little line of coolant, almost uh, like little raindrops, or you'd see like a line. It would like a thin line where it would run down around the cap, and just it would pull up on that little lip of the degas bottle. So it wasn't really excessive. If it's really excessive, you probably have a head gasket problem, or something like that. But if you just bought the truck and you're having issues, people, all these different places you've took it to are telling you like a head gasket, it may not be a head gasket. Do a coolant flush, check your coolant. Like I said, I put like 3.5 to 4 tops. 3.5 to 4 gallons tops. You know, out of 3 or 4 places, you'd think they could diagnose it better. And but it just made me think. I was like, well, if I'm not having coolant heating issues, it's not overheating, no loss of power, it runs fine. What could it be? And I needed to do a coolant change. I changed it, and I realized that I don't know how Ford got 7 gallons in there. I couldn't do it. But once I did that, I never had an issue, and I drove it and drove it and drove it and pulled with it, and it never overheated, never went over 191. It was on the temp. That was the max temp I'd ever seen after doing that, and no more leaking. So if you got a 6.0 Power Stroke, someone tells you your head gasket's blown, you recently bought it, and it's just leaking a little bit out of the degas bottle, you might want to try that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.